What's the biggest difference you see in the Lakers today as opposed to what you saw them last year in the playoffs?
Biggest difference, I don't know if there is a big difference. They're just playing really well right now. They're 12-3 in the last 15 games, and they've had great success with their current lineup, which is the same lineup we saw in the Western Conference Finals. Obviously, you know what you get with LeBron. He's just a marvel to do what he's doing at this stage of his career. Anthony Davis, and I think Austin Reeves is a hell of a player. Rui, I think D'Angelo Russell's like the X factor for that team. When he plays well, I think he elevates that team to a completely different level. So, as I've told our players, and I know the common narrative is, well, the Nuggets have beaten them 8 straight times. And as Nicola said, as I've said, all of our players have said, that's all in the past. Now, this is a new challenge, new season, and we'll be ready tomorrow night in front of a great crowd here at Ball Arena.
You guys were able to make Russell kind of a non-factor in that series last year. What are kind of the keys to targeting him at the defensive end and then to slowing him down on the offensive end? He's been shooting the ball really well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into what we're gonna do. So he's a hell of a player, and we're just gonna have to be locked in.
Michael, forgive the random and potentially dumb question, but are you ever...
Never potentially dumb. There's no dumb questions. I learned that in kindergarten.
Well, keep that in mind. Are you ever impressed with the overnight crew's ability to get this place flipped from an Avalanche game last night to have it ready for you guys in the morning as we get into this busy season where it's going to flip quite a bit during the playoffs?
It's their job. I'm kidding, man. Yeah. Of course, man. That means these people are here late at night. I mean, the Avs had their, I think, final home game of the regular season last night. Big win for them as they start the playoffs on the road. And then those guys putting in late hours, the graveyard shift, and turning it from obviously ice down into a basketball court down. So we appreciate everybody that's associated with this arena, all of our teams under the KSC umbrella. There's a lot of hard work that no one ever sees. Not just those people, but throughout the entire organization. So we are very appreciative of their hard work and commitment to helping us out in any way. Not a dumb question.
Have you talked to anybody about the challenge of repeating the coaching circles or executives or even players?
My father was on a staff with Chuck Daly, and when they won back-to-back championships from the Bad Boys back in the day. And so I had conversations with him, but I think one, it's gotten harder and harder, right? The last team to do it was 17-18 Golden State. And then today's NBA, the way with the salary cap and the taxes and the aprons and a lot of stuff that I don't fully comprehend to the level that front office does. But we're our own team, and I think we have our own path. And we know it's a hell of a challenge. And I told our guys that you can be a dynasty without having won 2 championships in a row. And most people wouldn't understand that, but if you think about San Antonio, I would consider them a dynasty. And they didn't win consecutive years in a row. They went every other year for a while. But I haven't talked to a lot of people because I wanted to work with our people and go through it our first time, because experience is the best teacher. And I could hear all those things from those people, but it may not apply to our group because we have our own set of individuals and our own personalities.
You've talked about staying hungry a lot, and I'm curious, when you think about how hungry this team felt last year to win a championship, where does that compare to the hunger level now going into this playoff run?
Well, I mean, I think it's the first one is always special, right? I mean, especially here. They'd never won one before, 47 years in the making. So that makes it, it was so satisfying in that regard. And what you always fight is human nature, as you know, Katie. So you win a championship and you waited so long and worked so hard to get there. And now how do you come back and not relax and not say, well, we did that? And to our credit, I think the proof for me is in the 57 wins. Like all the different accomplishments we have. We tied a franchise record. We had our second best road record in franchise history. We had the best record after All-Star break at 21-6. We were one of 3 teams to be top 8 in offensive and defensive efficiency. We were one of the best clutch teams in the NBA. So that shows me, the reason I give you all that is because that shows to me that our group was not satisfied. We didn't come into this season thinking we could just turn it on in the playoffs. I mean, we lost 2 games to teams below 500. So that to me shows a group that has been committed not just for now, the playoffs, but the entirety of an 82-game season, which is a big challenge. So very, very proud of our group for having the appropriate mindset all season long.
Christian Brown talked about what he felt expectations were of him going into the playoffs, and he said, really, they don't ask a lot. Just be a pest, play hard, be gritty. Is that what you need from him coming off the bench in this postseason?
Well, we also need him to, score the ball, make baskets.
He didn't mention that.
But he's right, though, because it all starts with his intangibles. And that's what I'm always talking to him about, is coming in the game, being tough, being physical, being aggressive, running the floor, attacking, having an attack mindset, defending. He's going to have a chance to guard a lot of different guys in this series, and just using all of his natural abilities to go out there. So if he goes 0 for 4 from 3, I don't care about that. If he's rebounding, if he's coming up with 50-50 balls, if he's running the floor, if he's attacking, those are the things that I judge Christian Brown's play. And I think he's been unbelievable for us, for the last couple of months. And I'm expecting him to just build on what he was able to do for us last year in the playoffs.
You hear the expression a lot, you got to show great players different looks. Probably been said who knows how many times about LeBron.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, right? How do you know as a coach what buttons to push, when to play things, when not to play things? And did you have a moment in your career where you, I guess, better learned that skill?
Oh yeah, I think as coaches you're always, whether as an assistant coach for the many years I was an assistant or now as a head coach for the last, I guess 10, 11 years, you do have to give great players different looks. You can't give them a steady diet of anything. LeBron James has seen anything and everything in terms of trying to stop him. So to your point, you have to figure out, okay, flow of the game, what's working, what's not working, make the timely adjustment. And that's always the biggest, I think, regret coaches have is, I should have done this. Like after the game, we'll talk, we should have blitzed LeBron. We should have gone under. We should have whatever. And I don't want to be the coaching staff that's always regretting. And the worst is when you have an assistant coach that says, yeah, should have blitzed him. You had an ample opportunity last night to say that. But afterwards, after every game, everybody's an expert. Everybody's an expert. And you just have to, you prepare. Like this week, just like I'm sure the Lakers are doing, you have a game plan, but you're also covering certain adjustments for certain play calls, for certain players, to be able to give them different looks. And I think the one thing I learned many years ago from Jeff Van Gundy, Tom Thibodeau is, when do you change your game plan? Well, he scored, change it. Well, for me, it's asking yourself the two questions that matter. Well, did we do it correctly? You have to give your game plan a chance to have success by doing it correctly, and then not just correctly, but are you doing it with the energy and effort that it deserves? If you're doing both of those things and you're getting your ass kicked, you better adjust in a hurry and not have any regrets for after the game. Or as the tattoo says, no regrets.
One more question.
One more?
Good.
Thanks.
All right, it's a walk-off. It's a walk-off.